Hello everyone. It has taken 2.5 years to complete Peasant Uprise. And for some, you may think that that's a very long time, but that's what game development is all about, especially when we're talking about a polished commercial product. And as I'm wrapping up this project, I will talk in general about the overall experience. I've divided these into two parts. The first one, which is this one, is an analysis of the whole project, where I will share some of the data about the project as well as a recap of the big milestones and challenges that I faced as an indie game developer. In the next video, I'll go more in detail about what are the things that I've learned, what are the things that I feel like I made mistakes, so others can try to avoid them, or at least have them in mind as they're gearing into this crazy adventure of building a game. I would also share some thoughts about what's next for this project, myself, and this video channel. So let's get into it. Before jumping into the actual video, a quick reminder that Peasant Uprise is available in Steam, and if you like what you see, it would help me quite a bit if you add it to your wishlist. So currently, Peasant Uprise is in a dev complete status, meaning that all features and content of the game are completed. I'm just playing the game in order to catch bugs or tweak some configuration to balance the game a bit better. I'm also starting to prep for the release and promotion. Going straight into the data section of this video, I started thinking about this concept back in August 2018. And during that time I built some small prototypes, but it wasn't really until October of that year that I started the Peasant Uprise project. Even the earlier videos were still sharing a prototype project that showcased movement or atmosphere. So that makes it 2.5 years of development. A compressed file of the project using a 7-zip compression is about 7 gigabytes, although there is still some cleanup that I could do. The project is divided into mainly two DLLs, two libraries. One of them is the Games in-house DLL, which serves as my framework, and a Peasant Uprise DLL, which is the actual game. This last one counts with 406 scripts and 40,843 lines of code. In the same DLL, there are 59 unit tests, which account for roughly 2.1 code coverage. There are 75 characters in the game between peasants, NPCs, and enemies, as well as 20 scenes, 18 game levels, the tutorial, and the entry menu panel. Finally, the game counts with 61 quests that the player can opt to do throughout the province of Swayne. Some of these quests pertain to the main storyline, and others are related to factions. All in all, this has been a massive project for just one person. The project started in a sort of weird way. I was set on building a game, but I just didn't know what was going to come out of it. I was more in a state of mind of figuring out if I could do it at all. I have plenty of experience professionally as a software engineer, architect, and director. However, I had no experience working with Unity and zero experience in 3D modeling or creating textures and shaders and visual effects, game music, you name it. So there was a lot of question marks coming into this project. I would say that for the first 6 months, my mindset was in a constant state of questioning whether I could do X. Once I proved myself that I could do X, then it opened a door, it opened a new horizon with further ideas. But all this meant was that I couldn't possibly plan this project without really having a set list of features because everything was sort of locked behind a door. I just couldn't see through it until I realized that I could do it, until I opened that door. Aside from the many mistakes I've made that I'll share on my next video, there was something I did that I'm proud of and worked out better than I anticipated. At the time I started the project, I also started this YouTube channel to document the process. My main goal was not only to get some exposure but also to get feedback from viewers as I'm building the game and not after it's completed. What I also gained out of this YouTube channel was to meet a lot of indie game developers, which to this date I'm still in contact with. About a month into development, I had an epiphany. See, the game was supposed to be an RPG. There was no concept of the camp, of facilities, of building, gathering, or resource management, etc. It was purely an RPG where you manage a larger than usual amount of unlikely heroes. This was really a turning point, one that I knew it would reset the whole scope of the project to enter the more strategy or tactical aspect of the game. But something in me told me that it was worth it. This was something that would really make Peasant Uprise fairly different from the rest, and the amount of content and the features would translate directly into the price tag of the game. So I thought it was the right choice to rescope the project if it was going to add significant value to the game. After the first year passed, I was still struggling to get 3 complete levels. I was starting to realize that this game was going to take not just a little bit longer, but a lot longer. From this point forward, development was really slow, trying to find time between work, family, and this project. Some things ended up taking a huge amount of time that I did not anticipate. Most tend to look at game development as the amount of lines of code, but for me it was building each level, creating each prop, textures, visual effects, characters, and more characters, dialogues, quests, etc. That was really starting to slow the project down tremendously. Don't get me wrong, I don't dread any of these game development tasks, but as an indie game developer working on the first project, the pressure is there to get the project done. So regardless whether I enjoyed it or not, it was frustrating that it was taking so long. Creating the Steam page also took a long time. It wasn't really due to the integration, that was the easy part. It was more about all the requirements to launch this space. In particular, it was the 1-minute trailer that was holding the whole thing back. Trying to explain your project and all the features that it counts with in 1 minute, it proved really challenging. And aside from the video and the editing, it was also creating the music for it. In contrast, the release of this first alpha build was a huge milestone and a very important morale boost. The feedback was good and the criticism was valid. But more importantly, it just felt like this is it. There is no turning back now. This is something that I will complete and I will launch. At the 2-year mark, I was starting to see the line at the end of the tunnel. It was also around this time that the project I followed were also posting videos about the 2+ years of development, which made me realize that it wasn't just me. This is just game development. It just takes time. Ending the project was tough as well. It just felt like it was within my grasp, but I couldn't quite hold it together. Also, burnout is really a thing. I noticed how my productivity rate was going down as each month went by. While the game is dev complete, there is still a lot of work to be done. I'm currently testing, and there's a new phase coming up which involves more marketing and promotion. Because I want the word to get out there. I want people to know that Peasant Uprise exists, and I want people to play it or to watch other people play it. I don't know whether Peasant Uprise will be a financial success or not. I don't know if it will meet my very conservative financial expectations of this project or not. Either way, it would be hard to consider it a failure, considering everything that I've learned in these 2.5 years of development, how much I have evolved as a person, as a game developer, as a 3D modeler, and all those different areas of game development. And if you're so inclined to help my project, my career, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Very simple, just click on the button. And wishlist Peasant Uprise in Steam. That also helps tremendously. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on part 2 of this video.